Greetings, ladies and managers, and welcome to this latest narration of the web series The Nature of Predators. If you're new to the series, there is a playlist listed down below in the description. And as always, I hope that you enjoy. Chapter 158. Memory transcription subject, Chief Hunter Isif, Arksol Rebellion Command. Date, Standardized Human Time, March 17th, 2137. Knowing how unbeloved my species was on Kalqua, there was no offer extended to the dirty and homogeneity to help with rebuilding and search and rescue. That had been the courtesy to humanity that I couldn't imagine my kind going along with for prey. The avians didn't attempt to drive us and the humans from the system, but they only sent a formal thank you to the Yurtle. I wasn't sure whether the Terrans felt slighted, though I sure did. The Dirtian were fortunate that my request for temporary aid in restocking munitions to tide us over until we could contact the United Nations wasn't phrased as a demand. My lack of diplomatic aplomb meant it was best that I left the leaf-licking primates to deal with the fallout, especially after how the shield-allied races behaved seeing me at the summit. A cryptic communication from Jones pointed us to a repair outpost within a day's travel, repaying our expenditures without me asking. It was strange to have our fleet congregated so far away from Central Sector, since the rebellion's early focus had been pestering agents within Briss's territory. I was aware of the fact that we devoted an inordinate amount of attention to the Federation after the surprising partnership between Gisnell and Iconus was revealed. Protecting Kalqua thwarted the Kolshian's primary target, and now the crux of the war hinged upon whether the Terran single-minded push towards Alpha could succeed. That was Zhao's third phase of the war, and rumor had it that Stage 2, cutting the conspiracy off from hundreds of allies, had been achieved through the Federation's staggering lack of cybersecurity. If humanity can get the Kolshian dynasty to surrender, then they'll be able to fight against the Dominion. Gisnell knows that he is weaker than the Federation, by his own admission, which is why Betterman avoided their ire. I narrowed my eyes in the briefing room. The Dominion has not been trying to win war, yes. I think they do not know how. They have not been active since Shazar's failure at Celis, which brought shame upon Chief Hunter's repute. It may be possible to dismantle their operations enough that it is decided not to fight humanity at all. Do you really believe that Gisnell would just surrender? I'm pretty sure that he wishes to keep power at all costs, Lisa responded. I think he believes there is no choice, and sees the way to bargain for some control. It may be possible. I am committed to a peaceful future for our people, and in this instance I imagine your little SC buddies will not stand for Betterman's survival. With our rebellion left outside the organization, I am concerned with ensuring our continued existence as an independent entity. So the more that we can reduce Dominion control, the more bargaining power we have over the Prophet Descendant if Alpha falls. Kaisel heaved a weary sigh. Survival. I see why you have been focused on coexisting with prey. What we have done, returning cattle, trying to communicate, and saving the Dirtian, might temper the calls for our race's genocide. Indeed. I do not think humanity would allow us to be attacked, given how they seek to end this forever war. However, I am concerned over how much free rein we will have and how we should move forward towards a better future through the galaxy's mistrust. I want Riss under our control, not some other world with no history. Gisnell might not take our home with him. Oleg adjusted his glasses. So you are looking for ways to reduce Batman's authority. What could leave Gisnell more paranoid than stripping him of yet another chief hunter who's seen as loyal to his cause? We're in the neighborhood, anyways. Leothis? All of our intelligence suggests that he will stop at nothing to prove himself to betterment. Young, hot-blooded, a true believer. What on earth would convince him to jump ship? Lisa countered. Well, we did hand him a multi and Dresden homeworlds on a silver platter. If he accepted a tip he knew came from us, then it can't be any more treasonous for him to accept the parlay. I lashed my tail. That was a different circumstances. A raiding opportunity proves his fierceness to Gisnell. Ilthus will not respond to talking. He responds to open strength and personal rewards, and the idea of a world without violence would disgust him. Then show him that the Dominion is weak, Chief Hunter. Kaiser's eyes glowed with a new confidence, and his maw parted with eagerness. "Show Ilthus the footage of the Dominion, and how they negotiate with the Colchians, because they cannot best them. How they do not wish to win the war or hunt well." "That is not a bad idea. Perhaps we can show humanity's strength to Ilthus. If humans have the power going forward, rewards from Gisnell are empty. He's proving himself to be the wrong team. True strength is in staying within your role to avoid being crushed by calamari, yes?" Oleg chuckled. "I'm surprised you learned that word." "I listen to the babbling of you humans when it serves me. If the Yodel are calling the Colchians a human food delicacy, I'd be remiss not to adopt this term. The calamari are responsible for the starvation of my people with the cure, regardless of whether Betterment released the cattle virus. So I have few moral quandaries about anything done to offer." "I hate the leaf lickers. I hope the Colchians are burned alive in their homes. For now, miserable they've made my life." Geisel growled. "Convince Ilthus that true strength is joining the fight at Uffa, for his personal glory across and beyond the Dominion." "Well, the humans are en route to Uffa as we speak. All they must do is get past the border stations and system in between. So while I can support bringing Ilthus into the fold, we should craft a plan for how to establish contact with him at once, if you want him to arrive in time." I drummed my claws on the table in deep thought. Ilthus's location was a given, with him likely trying to bloody the Dragzoon and Maltese nose. Unlike Kalsum's fleet, the Dewar had retreated some of its ships even without the stark warning the Growcartle captain had given. It was my sincere hope that, amongst the young chief hunter's attempts to grab easy cattle, especially with the egg-laying multi offering scrumptious delicacies in the form of their unhatched young, I hoped that he had the foresight to take out their shipyards and bases, coupled with a human cyber attack that should ensure that those loyalists didn't ever come kicking around again. Even if Alpha was defeated, the true cultists of the Federation, like the Dragzoon and the Predators sacrificing Yelpa, would be unlikely to drop out of the fight. "All right, Geisel, I imagine your plan is for us to head to Dragzoon and multispace and offer assistance. I do not particularly wish to preside over raids myself, especially with the harm that would do to our image. This rebellion is about proving that our Orcs are capable of being more than brutal, senseless beasts," I growled. The runt flared his nostrils. "I merely wish for you to travel close enough to pinpoint Ilthus's command ship. It won't be engaged at the center of the battle, though someone as cruelty proficient as Chief Hunter will be trying to get some kills himself. You can extend a hail from there. If I may, why don't we contact UN Intelligence and see if they've tapped at the Orcs or comms enough to connect us via FTL channels? There's no need to put ourselves in the line of fire," Lisa offered. "Very well," I acknowledged. "Zhao is an ideal figure to bargain with, though." "Jones is your go-to contact for intelligence. With respect, sir, I'll attempt to go through her. As long as I have your blessing, I can keep her from pushing anything." "Fine. But if that plotting human tries to pull some shenanigans, I want us dialing Zhao, and only Zhao." "Of course. Don't worry. I'll make sure this is quick and to the point." I watched in silence, along with the rest of my advisors, as the primate dialed General Jones. The American intelligence guru had a knowing gleam in her eyes, something which never sat right with me. It was as if she knew what we wanted to ask before any words were said. Terrans could certainly have prying ears and eyes in unexpected places, using technological infrastructure as weapons. I didn't quite believe her claim that her agencies weren't spying on my people. My guess was that humans listening in, even on Tava's governorship activities, despite the close alliance. It was fortunate for Earth that they had such a devoted friend in Skulger's highest office. Let's see if Jones gets any ideas about how to use me to her advantage. If Lisa can't get the spy master to help the rebellion out of decency, then I'll never work with her again. I'm not being pushed into doing things outside of my agenda by manipulative means." General Jones raised her hands placatingly. "Yes, if no need to look so skeptical. All we wanted was to split the Dominion and tilt the scales of war. It was in my national and planetary interest to spur you into action at a few key places. But now, There is no need for subterfuge. I can see you doubt my intentions, but know I'm happy to advance your rebellion's aims. Lisa, I believe you said that you would handle the chatter. I do not feel like chatting. You know how Orcs are tired of socializing. Lisa snorted. Yes, I've heard most Orcs do. Ma'am, we were hoping that you could patch us through to Chief Hunter Ilthus. Speaking to him could provide a key opportunity to siphon away Gisner's allies. Or that's the plan. Yes, definitely. Support attempts to weaken them without direct engagements. Let me consult my database. What a coincidence, the General exclaimed, wagging a finger. I happened to be looking at Ilthus's file when you called. I'll transmit his coordinates, and with his access code, you should be able to communicate with his ship. I stifled a sigh as Jones made a few swipes with her fingers. Oleg gave me a nod to signify that he received the data, and Lisa disconnected the call after a formal thanks. I was pleased that we'd been able to attain the information with minimal back and forth, and that it wasn't a conditional offering. My eyes narrowed before I gestured for the two humans and scrawny Kaisel to exit the picture. We couldn't afford to have any sapients nearby that Ilthus would see as a sign of weakness. The mask of cruelty that I perfected in my facade around betterment returned, an unwelcome reminder of my own bloody past. I bared my teeth to signify ferocity and signaled for Oleg to initiate the call to a fiery chief hunter. Ilthus responded, after a long stretch of our entreaty going unanswered. As a proper holographic avatar, the chief hunter had taken the time to send the full image of his toned form onto my projector, rather than the basic 2D visual. I suppressed a huff, realizing that I should have done the same. That was how the highest-ranking Dominion officers communicated, so out of the gate, my status seemed inferior to him. The hot-headed Oxal had scars sliced across his muzzle that seemed artificially inflicted, perhaps to signify his toughness. His grey skin had a bit of a green pallor to it, and his features were locked in a permanent scowl. This commander had the swagger of someone who'd fought 1,000 battles. It is apparent he's trying to compensate for his lack of experience through intimidation. Does Ilthus know what it is to command enough to hold up to the Kolshians? Well, if it is not the traitor to our dominance of our people, the filth that bargains with prey, consorting with our enemies, Ilthus sneered, what is it that you want? I raised my maw in defiance. For starters, I would like some gratitude for the easy hunt I gave you. I know many things about the state of the galaxy. I also know how to position Oxor for survival and strength. You forget the first item. Is that not so? I would not pass up prey and a chance to showcase my hunting ability. My raids are much crueler than yours. The best that you could do was glassing Venlo schools and a few movie reels. Your raid, I am sure, is quite impressive. That is why I wish to speak with you about more opportunities to demonstrate your talent, and make a name for yourself as you seize power with the utmost prowess. Once you hear my reasons for joining our hunt, and what I can offer you, you'll have no doubts about which side is weak, and which side is beneficial to your agenda. I have no reason to listen to your prattling, and I tire of this conversation. Words mean very little when I do not have any reason to believe you are anything but past your prime and defectively weak. This groveling to the feats of my raid acknowledges my superior cruelty with no resistance. You must prove that you are better, Chief Hunter, than me, if I am to listen to all of this. The softened-up words you placed in my jaws are the sole reason I took your call, in the interest of more feasts that you may know about. The contest of strength is one I can handle. I've seen many battles, and am certain that I can outmaneuver the likes of you. 1,000 of your ships versus 1,000 of mine. No tricks or subterfuge, no reinforcements for a coward's win, just a direct confrontation in space. If you best my people, Gisno will be delighted that you defeated the pesky rebels and lured us into the open. Ilthus snorted with a dismissive tone. I'll gain no satisfaction by crushing your ragtag force. It is you, the very head of power, that I doubt. I have a separate proposal, an honorable one. You come to my base without any army or backup, and we engage in a ritual sword-fighting, Tliskus, unless you've forsaken your weapon ornaments. Why would I be foolish enough to come alone to your territory for the Tliskus duel? I want to show my worth by defeating the supposedly great Isif, sending your memory to the prey pastures where it belongs. I'm no coward that would back down from a fight, especially an easy one against a weak defective. Fine. I trust that you are not so petrified of your betters that you would seek a cheap victory. I noticed that the humans looked horrified at my swift agreement, as if they believed it was folly. Whatever the leaflickers thought, I had pride left over, and I could tell Ilthus had too much arrogant confidence to backtrack on his challenge. I will see you humiliated by my blade, and we'll speak about why you should join me afterward. Empty words, like all of this talking you adore. When I win, I will execute you. Gizno will know who has slain the traitor from our ranks, and that it was through my superiority, Ilthus hissed. The chief hunter pounded away at his console, forwarding the coordinates to his base. Given that I wished to recruit him to our side, I was not going to take the opportunity to strike the clandestine facility. There were more important enemies than one overly proud Arxor. The less Dominion ships I needed to slaughter to complete my rebellion's aims, the better. Ilthus disconnected from the call after a threatening roar. As disdain swelled in his islets, I surveyed my advisor's expressions and noticed that Kaisel seemed a bit jealous. The Arxor runt must envy how respectable and powerful a soldier slightly older than him had become through the merits of his strength. If Ilthus thinks I've lost a step, he'll be in for a rude awakening. I can be calculating and patient. Too much eagerness to prove himself will mean his judgment is clouded by his anger. That doesn't mean I can't physically prepare myself. Without any discussion with my advisers, as the matter was settled, I stood from the table. This was not up for debate, since we needed to strike at the Dominion's very foundation. It was time for me to prepare for a confrontation with Ilthus. I intended to sharpen my sword and retrain myself in the art of Tliskus. Achieving maximum readiness for our duel would ensure that our probability of victory was turned in my favor as much as possible. End of chapter. There is a new legend on the horizon. Blueberry Cat has taken the T6 Patreon spot. Thank you very much, and I'm sure that I speak for everyone when I say that. I would just like to thank our T5 members, Lord Azrakel, Ambrose Cattell, Quantum Wednesday, Dragzoon W.R.E, Blueberry Cat, Cam Maxwell, Casper Arnholtz, Bushmaster 177, and Leslie 517. Thank you very much.